But I'm glad you mentioned the musical theater episode because that's dope. I didn't know that at all. But I feel like y'all set that up in last season because in episode 10, y'all have that great opening where like you're dancing. So I want to know about, first of all, reading that in the script. And then like, were you like a kid in a candy store where you're like, oh, I got to dance?
The first. I was like, I got to dance. No, it was Ildi Modrovic, who's one half of our show running team. She was like, I've got this idea for the opening of the final episode. It's about Lucifer. It's just like everything's coming up roses for Lucifer. And it was a kind of, I think she'd gotten an idea when she'd watched 500 Days of Summer. There's a sequence in that that's kind of similar. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is, you know, just everyone flash mobbing in the street and all that. And I was like, I love this idea. Like, well, and we're always, the weird thing is about our show is that we never really know where the boundaries are of what we can get away with, but we don't know until we have a go at doing it. And then if we commit fully, people seem to go along for the ride. And that's what happened on that one. And, you know, it was, it was a ridiculous amount of fun, like learning that dance sequence and, you know, doing all of those things. I just, you know, that for me is such a euphoric feeling. I'm a bit of a giggler and I love it.
Well, it was fun to watch. It was just so not what I expected, especially like where episode 9 left and just like, yeah, it was like a good moment, but you knew it's the final episode. So you expect it to be like dramatic. It's like some big things happening and they like open it up with this like very jovial dance number. It was so unexpected, but just so much fun. I really enjoyed watching that one. It was fun for me. Moving on to what you've been doing, because I think this is great that folks are going to get to have this, because over here, I don't know how it is over there, but over here in Los Angeles, we're still in the midst of everything. And so most folks are still at home. Most folks are probably going to be at home till the end of the year. So we get this great thing to watch at home. But I'm curious, what have you been watching / doing in the pause, as we would say?
Gosh, what have I watched? Well, like many people, I loved The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, because I'm a massive sports fan, and also just I love documentaries actually, and that all of that together was just perfect. What else have I been watching? Normal People on Hulu, fantastic. Yes. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
I did.
It was
sex.
Great.
Lots of sex.
Yeah, that's not the reason. Not the reason I loved it.
No. But it was very good.
There's something about like just the simplicity and the honesty of a show like that. And also I May Destroy You on HBO at the moment, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
So good.
Did you watch Chewing Gum? Did you watch Chewing Gum? Because I didn't.
I haven't seen Chewing Gum yet. No.
You got it.
I think I'll go back. I'll go back and watch that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Those are like the main ones that sort of have resonated in our household, and intermingled with a little bit of Selling Sunset, just for kind of, which I don't know if you've seen. Is on Netflix.
I have seen Selling Sunset because, well, not to tell too much, I can walk to like their office. So like I live in that area of Los Angeles, and so it's honestly very surreal, first of all, and it's great fantasy buying things. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to afford one of these houses, but I appreciably love watching it. Let me know what you think about the wedding episode if you haven't gotten there yet.
I haven't gotten to it yet. Let
me know what you think about that one. This actually brings me to my next question too, so I'm going to bring it to the Q&A, which is in season 5 from the preview. I'm not giving anything away. We get to meet Michael, who is Lucifer's twin brother, who has an American accent and seems, if we can say this, to be eviler than Lucifer. Yeah, he's definitely evil. He's a terrible man. So which do you prefer to play? He's a terrible little angel. Who do you like playing, Lucifer or Michael?
Oh, I mean, obviously loved playing Lucifer. And it was weird, actually. What I experienced was everyone on our set really enjoys the characters in the show, right? So when I was playing Michael, even though like everyone knows who I am and everything at work, people would still come up to me and just in my ear they go, "I don't like Michael. I don't like Michael." And and I'm like, me neither. But I'm enjoying the response that I'm getting because that's the response I wanted. So I may actually start a hashtag Michael's a dick when we get going and the season's up and running, because that's what I used to say all the time after a take. Because no one liked him, I didn't like him, and I didn't like his intentions, and I did not like what he was doing to our beloved characters.
I especially Chloe, like, let me just say
Oh
that
my
was the
God.
thing that got me all up in my feelings watching the trailers.
Hmm.
Like, this is not supposed to happen that way. This is not supposed to be with some random dude who looks like Lucifer. I was very upset about that.
Well, and also then he drops a bomb on Chloe that
Yeah.
everyone's been sort of protecting her from. And when I read that in the script, and when we read that in the read through, everyone was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's just done that."
Like, y'all really hate this dude. And
Oh yeah,
my
we really do.
and then my like extension hate you a little bit because you have to play him. This was the thing that I was like enamored with, and definitely I rewound the YouTube video. I was like, he's American. He's making him do an American accent. So talk about the American accent, because I've loved Lucifer's very sort of like put off posh Brit accent,
Hmm.
but yeah, it made him even more evil just making him American.
Well, it's interesting actually. When I first started playing around with the character of Lucifer, when I got the pilot script, it wasn't specified that he was British. It just the weird thing was I started experimenting with him. I first tried him as American. I tried Lucifer as American 5 years ago in my own living room, and I was like, "Ah, he just sounds like a dick. No one's going to like him." And then I realized that in my experience of being in America, talking with a British accent, everyone for some reason thinks you're really charming, even if you're not. And so that's where that started to. I started to play around with that notion of like, having, and it seemed to lend itself to that the way the character was written. So when I came to doing Michael, it just was like, well, I just wanted him to be the opposite. I just went back to that initial feeling of like, well, if I want to be really unlikable and sinister, I'm going to play him with this American accent. So he's so different from his brother as well.
And I, seeing the little bits I have of Michael at this point now, I absolutely agree. Y'all made the right choice. Your American accent is beautiful and flawless, but I don't like him. I don't like him
No.
so much. Just even hearing that twang to him. I have to bring it to this because again, you have some amazing fans.
Yeah.
And when I was on like Reddit and the internet, just like kind of Googling the hashtags, they're very passionate. They're very
Hmm.
passionate about you particular. They're very passionate about you as far as Lucifer and his prowess. Let's just put it to you that way. There's a whole thread on your shirtless scenes on Reddit. Like this is like a thing. And so I really wanted
Wow.
to talk to you about where you embraced that the most, which was when you did your thirst tweets for BuzzFeed. Because it was
Oh my God.
it was one of my all I'm a connoisseur of that series.
Hmm.
And personally, I may have sent a few thirsty tweets in my day. I'm not going to say yes or no. It's out there. But I'm just curious what it's like to film those because I've never talked to anyone that's filmed them. And I imagine it's quite surreal.
I can you tell I'm going a bit red at the moment? I so I basically when you don't know what you're signing up for. That's basically my experience of doing the first tweets. I mean, I'm not someone who particularly indulges social media too much, right? And so certain kind of phrases and the way you phrase themselves and people's kind of emoji use and stuff like that, it's kind of news to me sometimes. So I was shocked whilst reading and kind of just trying to get through it and not just, I was dying inside, is the truth, basically, dying inside.
That's the best way to do it. Again, as
Yeah.
someone I've watched all of them from the very first one till now. I love that series. I find it to be absolutely hilarious. And I will say the people that do it the best and have the
Hmm.
best version of it are people that are very unassuming and you can tell they're genuinely mortified, but more particularly the Brits. Like yours, Taron Egerton's, Richard
Oh my
Madden's,
gosh.
Henry Cavill's are some of the best ones because there's all of y'all say the same thing. It's some variation of like, that's quite full on. And there's just something really great about y'all being posh and
We're a very
uncomfortable.
reserved nation. We're a very reserved nation. Talking about such things publicly is, having to repeat Tom Ellis's daddy, Tom Ellis's daddy, Tom. I have no idea what that means, but like it sounds funny when you recount it in a British accent for some reason.
Well, if you ever come to Los Angeles, I'll explain because we all know.
I'm in
No,
the UK, literally being daddy at the moment. That's
I know. You're very happily like dad doing your thing, but I did appreciate it. It was very fun and very funny.
good.
Uh,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. I'm not gonna lie, and like I said, I'm a fan of that series. You did very well. So you may not have liked it, but you get an A plus for your
Thank you very
effort.
much. Oh, thank
Uh,
you. I feel better about it now.
You should, because that's what people like. I'm gonna get this last one, and then we're gonna let you get out of here and get you back to being dad and enjoying the rest of your lovely evening in the UK. But
Oh.
I wanted to ask you, so what's up next for you? Like, what do you have going on besides? Like, when are y'all gonna maybe get to film season 6? Like, what's the deal? Do you know
Well,
yet?
we are. I head back to America in about a week or so to isolate for a couple of weeks, so I can then supposedly go into pre-production for season 6. So we are aiming to start again by the end of September. Obviously, everything's up in the air at the moment, but that's, with the best intentions, that's what we're doing. We do have to start actually with the end of season 5 because we didn't quite finish season 5. We were about
Wow.
6 days away from finishing, and then obviously the COVID lockdown happened, so we just had to pull the plugs and go home. And we've been sort of at home ever since, really.
Wow. Well, everyone will be very excited about it. Again, I just have to say, from just looking at the chat, you guys are just so international, and there's just literally people all over the globe that are obsessed with this show. So I don't know if you want to give a shout out to
Oh
your
my
global
gosh.
fans.
Always. I mean, the Lucy fans, ever since our season 4 pickup and the Save Lucifer campaign, I feel like shareholders in our show. So thank you to each and every one of you for watching and for talking about it and getting your friends to watch and getting your mum to watch and all those things that you do. Because quite honestly, it's an absolute privilege to have done it for 5 years. And I think season 5, and I said this about season 4, but I honestly believe that season 5 is our strongest season yet.
I
So
can't wait. I
enjoy.
can't wait. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being such a good sport. And
You're very
yeah,
welcome.
have a great evening. And we'll do this again coming into season 6. Like, this is
Okay,
not. We'll keep coming back to talk
we'll
about
keep
the
coming
show
back.
because
We'll,
yep,
we'll keep
we
coming
love
back.
it.
But I don't think I'll be doing first tweets again.
It's fair. It's on the
Once is
internet
enough.
now. We can
Once is
enjoy
enough.
it for
My
the
thirst
rest
has
of
been
time.
quenched. Yeah.
That's good. Nobody else's has. I've seen the tweets. Anyway, thank you, sir. You have a great evening. I'm gonna let you
Take
go.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.